We're coming at you live. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy podcast with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
Bump it to the beat from an undisclosed location. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy episode 84, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And for all of our loyal Byte Nation, thanks for sticking around because this show is all about you all. Again, if you want to be a part of the show, call us at 1-800-616-2638. Leave us your name, where you're from, and just get right to it. Tons of comments, calls this week. We love it. You guys keep the show alive, so thank you so much for that. And again, this is a compliment to our Byte video podcast that comes out once a week. It's about a 5-6 minute video show, but this is the place with audio where we can really dig into it, and also we live stream it as it happens, typically on either Thursday or Fridays, depending on our schedule, around 2 p.m. So that's Periscope, YouTube, live stream. We're all there. So that's how it is. Beach, are you doing all right today, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I miss you, but I'm going to see you next week very soon.
Next week, Google I.O., everybody.
Google I.O., but this is an Apple show. They don't want to hear about that.
We cover it all. We cover it all.
We do. All right, let's jump in the show. And this is kind of a weird week this week. I think this is a week where anything is possible. And we kick it off with Microsoft had their Build conference. It's their developers conference over in Seattle today. And one of the announcements that it was really funny, they were announcing new key partners for Windows 10, and they showed off Spotify, and the crowd was like, okay, that's cool. And then all of a sudden they said, and they had a slide and an image to verify it, that iTunes is coming to the Windows Store by the end of this year. Like, you can even check out there's a tweet that they put out there from Microsoft. It's coming out, iTunes on the Windows Store. And so when I first read that, my first reaction was like, hell froze over for a second time, because this is in reference a long time ago for some of the Apple heads, and people are like, why are you even saying that? But people that know, I'm going to give you a little history lesson here. Steve Jobs, long ago when they had introduced iTunes had been out, I believe, for about a year and a half or so. And earlier he had said, he'd kind of joked that you'll never see it on Windows until hell freezes over. So then finally he did announce that iTunes was coming to the Windows platform. This is because of the success of the iPod. And he had a graphic that said, hell froze over. So this is kind of like the second time it's happened where iTunes has now been on a Windows platform. And I'm going to tell you right now, Beach, you know me, I love my iPad Pro. I am a religious iPad Pro user, but man, it kind of makes me think if they have iTunes directly on that device, like the Surface Pro 5, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes compelling because my ecosystem hooks are pretty much almost all there other than iMessage. I get all the media is there, and it's native to the Windows 10 platform. I don't know. It's kind of exciting in a weird way that I might give it a chance because I love the iPad, but man, the iOS for the iPad it needs to do more.
Yeah, I got excited about this too, but then a lot of the apps that come in the Windows Store, they're kind of like, they're half baked a little bit, or they're like they don't look as great as like a regular app on Windows. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of generic. They look a little generic. So
I mean,
At first I was excited, and then I was like, but it's probably gonna look kind of weird, and I don't know if it's gonna function properly because I use iTunes on Windows all the time, and it has issues. It has a lot of bugs. Like mine makes that noise all the time. It goes doo doo doo, like I'm done syncing or something. It just randomly does that all the time for some reason. I'm waiting for an update to fix that. So I'm excited, but at the same time, it depends on what it's going to look like and how well it's going to function for me.
Yeah, and people are saying, hey, they have iTunes has already been on Windows. We know that, but I'm talking about like natively to kind of like the Windows Store,
totally
like
different.
The tablet, like basically a tablet type version. Totally, I don't want to say seamlessly integrated because it's not, but it has that really true native look and feel to the modern Windows 10. So let me just at least say I probably won't jump over, but it gave me that pause, right? For that moment, I just paused. I'm like, man, maybe I would consider this. And that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to turn people like me to be like, if the Surface Pro is truly that much better, then there will be people beyond me that might just jump over. So anyways, iTunes coming to the Windows Store by the end of the year. And then another announcement, this time with Amazon. Like, this has been going on for at least, I swear, 2-3 years.
The AI wars.
the AI
We're in the
wars.
middle of the AI wars.
Well, before we get to, yeah, we are, but like this announcement, according to BuzzFeed, says, and there were rumors about this earlier this week. Apple will announce that Amazon Prime, the video app, Amazon Prime Video, will be coming to the Apple TV sometime this summer and will be announced at WWDC. This is the first report that outright says we will see the Amazon Prime Video app on the Apple TV.
Sorry, I spoke too quickly. I thought you were going to talk about the Echo Show or something.
I know you did.
But
you're getting ahead of us.
Amazon Prime Video on Apple TV, that's awesome, man. They've been keeping those things apart for a long time, and it's about time that they get together.
Well, there's always been this weird thing, like, is there beef between the companies? Because, right, Apple is very sensitive about putting competing media storefronts that have apps on their platforms. And according to sources, a report had earlier said that both Tim Cook and Jeff Bezos had actually met to just kind of grind it out and say, like, let's just do this thing. You got to put the top birds in the room, right? And they just said, let's just do it. Okay, it's going to happen. So I think this is exciting because that's one of those kind of missing pieces that's on every platform when you're talking about video streaming services. It just wasn't on Apple TV. So I'm glad they got their heads out of their butts and did the damn thing.
Yeah, totally. I would love to be a fly on the wall during that meeting with Tim Cook and Jeff Bezos. You know, it's going to be some crazy conversation that they were having there. Like, oh, how's your spaceship going? Oh, cool. Yeah, you know, how's your $1 trillion fund? Oh, you know, rich guy talk.
Hey, you want to do an Amazon Prime Video or not?
Yeah. So let's do that. Yeah.
Like, how's your Prime Air drones going? Oh, it's doing awesome. Yeah, we'll be able to deliver your phones via drone in the next year or so. Oh yeah, that's cool. Hey, you want to talk about Amazon Prime or what?
Yeah. What's up with the Apple Car? Is that happening? Okay. Cool.
Oh no, it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Another big thing that Amazon dropped, and Steve's talking just directly to it. The Amazon Echo Show is their new, it's their new Echo product, but with a video screen. It's basically kind of like what we imagine video phones from like the 80s and 90s to be, but what makes it special or what makes it smarter is the Echo platform is completely integrated into it. It's a widescreen touchscreen. It has a big rectangular speaker on the bottom, and you can use it for calls. So let's say grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, cross country, you can make video phone calls directly through it. It has a video camera as well. I polled people on Twitter just to see how excited they were because, quite honestly, I wasn't super juiced about this because I'm not the type that's going to have like, I already have FaceTime on my phone, and I feel like if you have just this sitting video screen that you could get called anytime, it's kind of like,
yeah.
And I already have an Echo, right?
Yeah, I wasn't excited about it either. It seems like I don't know. It's like we have so many ways to call right now.
And I think, trust me, I'm not knocking a video phone by any means. I think this product will do pretty well. The thing is, it's going to retail at $230. Wow. If I recall right, I think because I haven't bought it in a while, I think the standard Amazon Echo is around 150, 160. Is that right? Am I totally off? You guys and gals can correct me.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little less now. Like they keep lowering the price on everything. The Echo Dot is like going down in price too.
That one's like $50.
Yeah. But yeah, I had the same reaction as you. Like I was not excited. I'm like, oh, another thing, another screen. It's not that great. It would be cool if you could connect it to your television maybe, and then say Amazon Prime play this movie or something, and it just starts playing a movie for you, and then it just becomes like it replaces your Echo Dot and your and the other Echo products. That would be cool, but I haven't looked that much into it, to be honest.
It was one of those things where I'm Amazon's biggest fan when it comes to the whole Echo platform, but it was one of those things where I'm like, do I really need this right now? And the answer for me right now is no. Let me see if I can put up this poll. You won't be able to see it, but I'm just hoping that the results will load up. But I asked people on my Twitter, the Amazon Echo Show, I like to do, instead of a yes or no, I like to do yes or pass. What do you think about that? Yes,
I like that.
Or pass.
That's way more fun, yeah.
22% said yes. 63% said pass. 15% said Google Home users. That was out of 350 votes. So, you know, about 2/3 of people are like, I'm good. I'll pass on it. But I think if, you know, if I wanted to get my mom and dad and I had kids and be able to really easily just do something like that, I could see how it does fit a need, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to sell nearly as much as a regular Echo. It's just not.
No, well, actually, last night, you know, I was just lying in bed, going through my phone, and I saw that the Amazon Echo app had updated. It completely changed, like the artwork and everything changed. And I went through it, and it started like almost like it was taking me through, it was setting up my Echo Dot all over again, sort of, you know? It's kind of taking me through this thing. And then it asked for my phone number so I can make phone calls, and I quickly was like, no way. I do not want that. No, I don't want people calling me on my Echo, you know? So, you know, it's immediately I was not happy or didn't want to do it, you know?
So, quick thing, we are going to talk about how this connects to Apple, but there were reports that basically Amazon had invested in this startup called Nucleus that has a video type phone product that can be stuck on walls and whatnot, and then essentially kind of cloned its product for the new Echo. And I get it. Like, again, Amazon invested money in Nucleus, and some people are a little annoyed. Most people I didn't even know what, quite honestly, right? I'll be the first to say, I didn't even know what Nucleus was until I read about the story. But a lot of times in the tech world, it's like saying the Samsung Galaxy copied the iPhone, copied the Samsung Galaxy, which copied the iPhone, which, you know, it gets to the point where, look, the reason why this is different is it has the Echo guts and brains inside of it. And that's going to always make a lot of these products that might be the same. You put in a different platform in it or a different ecosystem, like Apple's ecosystem. That's what can make a product that might be normal more special because of those hooks.
Yeah, true.
So here's the fun meat about this. So the Echo Show was announced, I believe, in Tuesday of this past week. But right before that, over the weekend, Phil Schiller did an interview with a website called Gadgets 360. Now, in this interview, he was basically asked, what do you think about voice assistants like the Amazon Echo, like the Google Home? And here's what he had to say. Now, he basically, let me just get to his first thing. The first thing he said in response to that is that my mother used to have a saying, this is his quotes when asked about the Google Home and Amazon's Echo. My mother used to have a saying that if you don't have something nice to say nothing at all.
What?
That was that cocky jerk's response. Like, come on, dude. Someone's asking you about voice assistants and you can't even comment like right off the bat on the state of voice assistants. You just go in on them like, yeah, it's first of all, if you're the VP of marketing for one of the top tech companies in the world, you've got to do better than that. You can't be a D-bag. But he chose to be a D-bag.
Sounds like he's a little defensive. Like he's almost like borderline worried, you know, because Siri, a lot of people Siri's not as hot, you know, so that's interesting.
So then they went on to ask him to elaborate about voice assistants, and he did make an interesting point. Now, this is what he says. There's many moments where a voice assistant is really beneficial, but that doesn't mean you'd never want a screen. So the idea of not having a screen, I don't think suits many situations. And what he's basically saying is, if you have these voice assistants out there, you should have a screen on them. And so guess who dropped, like literally 3 days later after he said this, a voice assistant with a screen? Amazon did. And I know he's also relaying like, hey, our phones, which have screens, have a voice assistant. But I'm like, Phil, you're just jealous. Like, you can't talk, you know what, about another company when they've had something that is probably in this most exciting space of consumer tech we've seen in a while. You have nothing to show for 2 years, and you're talking junk about Amazon and Google Home. That's so petty. It is so petty.
Well, I completely disagree with him because he's saying you need a screen. I mean, like, I use my Echo Dot a lot. I talk to it a lot. It does a lot of things for me, and I'm all like way far away from it. I'm across the room, sometimes even upstairs, or just on my phone or something, you know. But 99% of the time, I'm not looking at a screen. I'm just yelling I'm just yelling, things at the Echo. So I think he's wrong. I disagree with him on that.
The only thing I wish that the Echo had on it was actually just some sort of visual clock. So sometimes I'm not in view of a clock. Yeah, I know you got your phone on you or whatnot, but I wish it just had like, oh, I can see the time on it or something. So anyways, this is all building up because Apple is rumored to be doing a Siri speaker of their own that could potentially have a video screen on it. That would be a Siri based speaker. And look, we don't know if it's going to happen at all. Right now, Echoes have grabbed 70% of the US market in voice assisted speakers. Okay, that is beast.
That
okay,
is a lot.
Google accounts for the rest. All right, so Apple, again, we've talked about this a while ago. Apple's going to be the third player in the market. There's really only room for two, and then the third one is always kind of like there. Google's getting more device support. Google's actually smarter, but it's just not as practical right now. Google's Home is the smarter of the two based on the algorithm. But I mean, come on, for Apple to talk junk like that, this is the stuff that drives me crazy. Like, they are still acting like the cocky, we do everything the best when they don't.
Yeah. I mean, he's saying it wouldn't be cool without a screen, and then also their laptops don't need to have touch screens. So there's just a lot of disconnect there,
And I don't. So we'll see how it plays out. I am actually though really curious about WWDC because look, Apple hasn't really released too many new products this year yet. It's like everything is starting to stack up towards the second half of the year. We're talking about we haven't seen iPads, we haven't seen MacBook Pros, we haven't seen Macs, we haven't seen Apple Watch, we haven't seen iPhone. We won't most likely see Mac Pro, Apple TV maybe. I mean, there's so many things. Like, this could just be a bang, bang, bang summer release all the way through the fall. It could get pretty wild. So, but I'm just waiting for Apple to drop something on us instead of complain about other companies for doing something that they haven't done.
Yeah, we're like almost half the year's almost over. It's almost 6 months in, and
that's what I'm talking about.
So they're just gonna they're gonna drop a bunch of stuff on us and just try to dominate the conversation for the second half of the year. That's probably what's gonna happen. We'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
Microsoft Build had a lot of cool stuff today that works with everything too. It Timeline, you can be on your phone, and Cortana, it'll work on iPhone, Android, everywhere. You can pick up where you left off. So there's a lot of cool competition happening. I'm curious to see what Apple's going to do.
Lots shaking. All right, let's transition over a little bit to the Apple Watch. This is a really cool report coming out from TechCrunch. And basically, a research study conducted by the University of California, San Francisco, and the team behind the Cardiogram app has found that the Apple Watch's built-in heart monitor is 97% accurate when detecting the most common form of an abnormal heart rhythm when paired with an algorithm to sort through the data. So they're basically saying that the tech on the Apple Watch is good enough to be able to detect abnormal heart rhythms, heart arrhythmia, as we've heard the term. There were 6,158 participants in the study. They all used the Cardiogram app on the Apple Watch to monitor their heart rate. Most were known to have normal EKG readings, but 200 of them suffer from irregular heartbeat. So I just found this fascinating because we talk about the accuracy of some of these fitness devices. I still, personally, based on my experience, feel like the Fitbit is a better fitness, like actual step tracker than the Apple Watch. I've used them both on multiple hikes, compared the final result of distance covered to the official distance of trails. But when it comes to, and they both have heart rate sensors on it, but I just found this really compelling from a standpoint of Apple's trying to continue to push these health and wellness initiatives. And this is just another thing, a quiver, right, that they have, that they can just say, look, we have the best of X, Y, and Z, and everyone is wearing this stuff. So I like that. We're starting to see not the sexiest stuff, but when it comes to this real medical science proof of, not only proof of concept, but proof that it works, it's starting to make these devices across the board, whether it's Apple or other companies, make them more useful and, quite honestly, potentially life-saving, more, something like that. That's important.
Yeah, they're getting close to just being in all hospitals, like being in your AKG. You're not going to have those bunch of wires connected to you. You're just going to have an Apple Watch on. They're getting closer to that, and that's really cool.
Even yeah, even with Apple's Health app, they're basically taking all this data pulled from your devices and from your apps and trying to throw it all into one single app that you could maybe use, whether it's medical history or what your current situation or your past readings over the past 2 weeks. When you go to a physician and show them this stuff, that they can actually just look at right away and be like, okay, this is the data that I need. It's kind of crazy where this could potentially go. So
Yeah.
I'm on board with it. It's just not sexy, but it's cool. In another health wellness story, Apple has acquired Beddit. It's the iPhone connected sleep monitoring system. And so what this is like this long strip that you put on your bed between your mattress and then like the top blankets, and it basically measures like your respiration, heart rate, movement, snoring, room temperature, room humidity, all those things like that, and then gives you that data to the iPhone. It's being sold in Apple stores right now,
Oh, wow.
but yeah, for $150, but Apple acquired the company.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So I just feel like this is another thing as they're
mean,
trying to build out this whole health and wellness. We know sleep
This is going to
studying
be in hospitals too, man. You're going to be wearing your Apple Watch with this Beddit thing. I mean, they're going to be in every hospital in America. I'm predicting right now. That's my prediction.
Well, I'll tell you. I could tell you my Beddit readings for you right now.
Oh, please.
Vigorous activity.
Oh, did you break the Beddit?
No, not. Honestly, I'm completely lying right now. That's just not true. It's just not true. It's just not true. It's like the Beddit's activity is like, oh, little wussy goes to sleep at 9 to 10 p.m. I don't go to sleep that early. I don't go to. You might go to sleep that early because you got kids.
Oh
though.
yeah, I'm by 10 a.m. I'm fried. You can't even get me up out of anywhere.
So, anyways, I thought that was
10
really
p.m.,
cool. Yeah, Apple acquires this company called Beddit, so it'll be interesting to see that. That's something that'll be put together with them down the line. But they're starting to build a lot of stuff. Let's jump over to iPhone 7 in a fun little report, just in case you guys were all wondering what's going on with Apple. Is the sky falling? We aren't selling as many units. According to Strategy Analytics, the Apple iPhone 7 was the top selling.
Smells
It
great.
also smells. It also smells. The top selling smartphone during the first quarter of 2017, despite a year-over-year drop in sales. They estimated that the iPhone 7 accounted for 6.1% of total smartphones, while the iPhone 7 Plus captured 4.9%. That would be for the Q1 of 2017, so that's January through March. What's interesting is that in third place was a phone from Asia called the Oppo R9. And if you look up what the Oppo R9 looks like, it looks like a complete knockoff of the iPhone 7.
Is that
In
picture
fact,
in here in this
it's
article?
not in the article, but
Arpo,
you don't have.
what is it again? Arpo
It's
what?
the OPPO R9, but it just cracks me up because it's like, oh, maybe people that are dumb and thought it was the iPhone bought it because it's also cheaper. Don't get me wrong, but it's from an Asian company. The Galaxy S8 did not come out until April, so that's not included in these numbers. But there you go.
Yeah, it looks
for people
just
that
like
are
a-
watching, it looks like an
It
iPhone.
looks exactly like an iPhone, but kind of like with an Android button on the bottom.
Yeah.
Android.
We do want to finish up at least with our stories before we get to our calls with the iPhone 8 stuff. Beecham, if you can, I want you to queue up the video instead of the article because this is the latest. This is a video rendering of the new, what is believed to be the new iPhone 8 based on the most current leaked CAD images. This is brought to us from OnLeaks and Gear India. But what it is it's, there you go. It
There it
looks
is.
like a single slate of glass. But what's interesting is if you look at the top where the camera sensors are, it looks different. You have the rear protruding camera on the back that I'm like, dude, Apple, can't you just not make the camera protrude anymore? Can you just do something about that? That's not the case, but there's an article that I put in here that basically shows off that the camera sensors are going to be on the top of the phone, but they kind of jut out. And if you look at some of the images that are out there, you'll see what I mean. It looks different where it's not a clean black line until you actually use the phone. So if you like have your wallpaper, you're going to have this kind of like little trapezoid coming out from the top of your phone. and then when you unlock it, you'll kind of have a steady black bar with all the Wi-Fi and your cell signal and your battery life on that top bar. You'll see. Just go look it up. But I don't know. I'm curious how this all. I'm curious how this iPhone 8 really shapes up. We know everything we've seen, and we'll just have to wait for it to be confirmed because it feels like we really know a lot about this already.
I still kind of wish that they put the the little button. There's one button on the side that'll like turn off your iPhone. I wish they would move that back to the top because every time I try to turn it off, I end up like hitting the volume, and I turn my and it never, I can't turn my screen off because I'm accidentally hitting the volume, and it's very annoying. So I wish they would put that button back on the top. That's my wish, Apple. Thank you.
The Wishes by Stephen Beecham. Dear Apple.
Yes.
And then just two quick bullet points. A report from JP Morgan says that Apple is expected to bring an enhanced receiver, what audio receiver, and what that will help is with better stereo sound and potentially even better waterproofing. But it's kind of a no-brainer right now. This next phone has to have IP68. Plenty of phones have that, including phones with headphone jacks actually have an IP68 rating, but Apple doesn't, and they don't have a headphone jack, so they've got to do that. And then the last rumor, who knows if this is true or not, a lot of reports are saying that because of supply shortages and problems in the production line that has slowed down this because of the new design, the new screens, even sensor-related issues of getting that technology locked down. It could potentially see the iPhone 8 ship out in October, November instead of the September timeframe. So that's thrown out there as well.
That's kind of very close
to the holiday season. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. But again, those are just iPhone 8 rumors. I don't want to talk about them no more because we're probably sick of them by now, right?
No way, man. I can't get enough. Give me more.
Who wants more? Who wants Mo?
Mo iPhone rumors.
Okay, should we get to the phone calls?
Yes, let's do it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank everybody who called in. We got a lot of good voicemails. And here's the first one.
Hey, it's Kiara from Ohio again. And my question is, what's up with Apple and their new design of iPhone 8? It's not really impressive. I don't really like the design of the camera lens. Yeah, so that's basically my only question. And also, Apple hasn't really been impressing me lately. I don't know. I'm not too impressed. That's just my thoughts. Have a nice day. Bye.
She is not impressed.
Oh, man. Just reminds me of that picture of the Olympian from the Team USA on the gymnastics squad from... do you remember that?
Yeah.
Not impressed. Kiara, hey, the thing is that I think no matter what, if you're an Apple lover and you're in the ecosystem, I think people get giddy about new phones. There you go. Good pull, Beach.
Yeah.
So
not impressed.
Yeah, not impressed. I think people are gonna like this phone either way. I think they might poo-poo on the 7S and 7S Plus, but I'm just more bored because this is all rumor and speculation, but a lot of it is probably pretty close to what it's gonna be like, and we just hear it we will continue to hear it through September and possibly October, November, and I just there's got to be more to life than that.
Yeah, totally.
There's got to be.
It will sell more than the iPhone 7, though, right?
Yeah.
They always do. Okay, next call.
Hey, Beach. Hey, Brian. It's me, John, from southern Minnesota. I was just wondering about, the new Apple AirPlay speaker, Siri speaker, or whatever you think they're going to call it. Do you think it'll be branded under Apple or Beats? Since, Beats makes speakers like the Beats Pill and the Pill XL and whatnot. So do you think it'll be branded under Beats or under Apple? Thanks. Have a good one.
It's a good question.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, I think no matter what, if it's a Siri-based speaker, it's going to be an Apple product. I think they'll tout that there's Beats technology, right? They might have their Beats
yeah, totally.
equalizer settings in an app. Some of their hardware stuff in there. Fine, that's fine. That can be Beats, whatever. But it's going to be an Apple branded speaker. If it looks like kind of what the what is it called? Is it the UE Boom? That's just kind of like a cylinder with a mesh speaker around it. Okay, we've seen that before. again, 70% of smart speakers Amazon owns right now. I wonder how much that number would change, because I think the general consensus, at least in the tech space, is that Siri is not that great. But to the general consumer that doesn't pay attention to that, I think they might think that, oh, Siri's great. You know, a lot of people are going to be buying this thing that haven't experienced these AI products, and their Apple is going to be their first introduction to it. That's what's always kind of crazy when you take a step back and think about, oh, what about my mom or my grandparents? Like, they're going to be like, oh, you know, the headline, Apple makes a smart speaker, and there's a majority of people who feel this is the first smart speaker they have ever heard of, and Apple made it.
True. But you
Right?
can
It happens all the time.
he makes a good prediction though, because you could bet like down the line, maybe even next year, Beats will have one, and it'll be like with Apple Home, with Apple Home inside and Siri inside and everything. So they probably will make one in the future. Just I don't think it's going to be Apple's flagship AI speaker.
I mean, someone in our Periscope just said my parents are still confused by the Echo, so there's room for innovation. And I think it's just some people trust the idea that Apple made something, so I'm going to learn about it, and my phone's an Apple, so yeah, I'll learn about this. Whereas you tell someone like, hey, Amazon made a smart speaker outside of the tech world, they're going to be like, huh? Like, how do I use it? I don't want to learn those commands. I don't get it. But then all of a sudden you put the Apple name on it, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll figure this out, right? There's a psychology and mentality that works that way.
Yeah, my dad is like afraid of the Echo. He's like, that thing's recording me right now. He's like, oh, well, I don't want to be around it. He's like afraid of it. It's funny.
And
He's read a lot of. Yeah, I don't know what he would do. I don't think he would have any kind of speaker in his house, that's listening to him.
It would really be funny though, Beach, if like Apple releases one. He's like, hey, Steve, you hear about the Apple smart speaker? Bruh.
Be like, yeah, Dad. No, he doesn't even like having his picture online anywhere. Like if I put something on Facebook, he's like, no. I never do. So, that's how he is. Okay, next call. Let's see. Here we go.
Hey, Apple Byte. This is Wes in Atlanta. I'm actually just had a question. I happened to be looking through 9 to 5 Mac, and it's talking about iOS 11. Do you think they're finally going to do split screen on the Plus? When are we going to get that? I love to just watch YouTube videos or watch the Apple Byte as I'm also looking on 9to5mac.com. Anyway, love you guys. Love the show. Thanks.
You mean as you're reading CNET.com?
Yes, please.
Which gets a lot of its Apple scoops from 9to5mac.com. You know what? If they do split screen on the iPhone, obviously we'd hope it at least be on the Plus. But to Beecham's point, in multiple shows, they still haven't given us horizontal freaking landscape iTunes.
I know. Come on, please.
So pathetic, dude.
It's easy to do.
It's so bad. It's like, seriously, and why can I use the iPhone in landscape mode on the home screen on just the Plus and not the freaking regular iPhone? I hate that. I think that is so lame. That's one of the lamest things. Just make it the same. So, yeah, you can do it on the iPad, split screen. That's one of the exclusive features to iOS on the iPad, but I would like that very much too. I agree.
I've actually never tried split screen on an iPad. I'd be curious to see how that works, but
it works nice. It's real easy, straightforward.
Okay, cool. Okay, next call.
Hey guys, it's Ryan from Sacramento. I wanted to get your opinion on the Touch ID sensor, which currently on the iPhone 7 and past iPhones can work kind of sketchy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd say it has about a 75% success rate. It depends whether your hands are sweaty, wet, dirty. Anyways, wanted to know if they end up putting it underneath the glass on the new iPhone 8 or the iPhone Future, do you think the reliability will be a little bit better, or do you think it'll still be sketchy because it's a new technology and maybe have a few issues with it since it may be one of the first phones that puts it underneath the glass? Love the show, guys. Look forward to your opinion. Thanks.
I just think that the Touch ID sensor, it's going to be the same sensor. They're just going to pop it on the rear. So I really think that accuracy-wise, it's most likely going to be the same. And I'm sorry if you have sweaty fingers. Maybe Maybe our Apple biter, maybe got the sweaty finger.
He's
thing.
right. Like right after you get out of the shower or you wash the dishes or something, you can't unlock your phone unless you type in the number. It's
totally true. It's totally true. So, but I think that underneath the glass, the reason why we aren't seeing any true confirmations of it is because, like to your point, the accuracy is going to have to be a lot better when it's through glass, right? It's using optics to, and even there, some of the patent reports talk about how there's audio signals that are sending vibrations to kind of read the base of your finger and the different imperfections that identify you. Like, this is not easy stuff, right? And I would never be like, oh, Apple, you couldn't get on the front screen. Samsung had over a year to do it. They couldn't do it in the Galaxy S8 product. We'll see if they even get it into the Note 8 in time. Apple is kind of facing the same issue, that this is just not as easy as people thought. And, this is some of the challenges that technology has. I hope they can do it, because they really need something to tout that we have actual hardware technological features that are more advanced than what is right now the best phone on the market, the Galaxy S8, from a technology standpoint. And for Apple to really claim and make, have bragging rights that we're the best and be able to back it up, because that's what they always say, they need to do something like that. So if they don't, I'm not going to not buy the next iPhone. I still think the fingerprint sensor on the back, I have a Google Pixel. It works perfectly fine. I like it there. It's not that big of a deal. But I know, yes, ideally, get it on the front, get on the home screen. We'll just have to see if they do it or not.
Yeah, that sensor he's talking about, and you were talking about with the audio signals, I feel like we don't know how well that's going to do, but it seems like it would be a little more accurate than the optical way that it's working now, if it's using like a frequency to measure your finger. I don't know. We'd have to test it out to see, but to me, I feel like it could be more accurate than what we have now. So
okay, I need to address a comment. Someone wrote in the Periscope, I think his name was Ken Vertalk, like, oh, sweaty fingers from watching the Warriors lose 3-1 to the Cavs? Come on, man.
Oh!
Why are people burning us still on that? It's so petty. Who's your team? For reals, who's your team? You don't got a team. Your team sucks.
Is it looking like the Warriors are going to meet the Cavs again? It's kind of looking that way, right?
For sure. Oh, well, I'm not one to jump ahead, but it looks pretty strong.
Rematch! That'll be fun to watch, man.
It'll be fun.
Okay, we have one more call. Here we go.
Hello. I'm Nelson from Westchester, Ohio. A quick question. Is the Pixel XP, Pixel XL, the bigger one, is it still relevant at this time, or should I wait until Google comes out with its next phone? Thanks. Take care then. Love your videos. All right. Bye-bye.
Cool. So,
bro, is this the Apple Byte or the Google Byte? This ain't no Google-licious.
It's the Apple-licious.
What just happened?
No, it was funny. We put this call in because we were like, people are calling the Apple Byte show about Google phones now. I mean, that's how far Apple has drifted from their audience. So I just thought it was interesting.
Maybe we should do a show that covers all things in this tech pop culture space.
We could.
We could.
Yes.
No, look, quick, because we show love, and look, I'm not just an Apple freak. The timing, don't get a new Pixel now. Wait for the next one. It should be getting announced in the next 3 or 4 months. Just don't. We already saw their first entry in the market, which quite honestly, to me, was an amazing first entry, because they came up with 2 things that no one had: the best voice assistant on planet Earth, and still to this day, based on the rankings, the best camera in a smartphone.
Oh,
on that phone, on the Google Pixel. So just wait for the next gen. You shouldn't need to buy one now, and call back with an Apple question next week.
I do have to point out though that Vanessa Hand Oriana did a video, Pixel versus iPhone, and the iPhone camera, or the video camera, was better on the iPhone Plus than the Pixel.
Correct.
So
based on how they shot it,
they did video at nighttime on a boat and some like really difficult settings, So yeah, it's if you want the camera, it's camera, video. It's kind of a toss up there.
It's like most people, let's be real, no matter what you tell people about a camera, it's not like everyone bought a Google Pixel because it had the best rated camera based on both results and actual metrics, like visual results and actual metrics. It had the best camera, but it didn't look. Did everyone buy a Google Pixel? No, but a good amount. But it was a great start for Google. I mean, I was impressed. Their first in-house phone. I think we'll end the show because we're not talking about Apple anymore.
Cool. Yeah. That's
all
it,
right,
man.
everybody. Excellent. Thanks so much. Again, you guys and gals can call us. Love all the calls that were sent in. Thanks so much. Again, that number is 1-800-616-2638. It's the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy, Extra Munchy. We will start when we get back in the studio, maybe taking some live tweets. So be ready for that. Beecham, tell the good people goodbye.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week. And have a good day.
All right. Peace, everybody. Take care. Be safe.
Peace.